Well, that's what we want, rich nicotine tobacco. That's what we do. We top it like this to have rich nicotine tobacco. You know, you hear all about nicotine, but what you don't hear is, from the government officials that attack the tobacco industry, if they catch you with the plant tobacco that won't produce the right amount of nicotine under law, you can be prosecuted and can go to federal penitentiary. Because the tobacco companies don't want it, and the government's going to make sure they don't get it. That's all I'm trying to say. Quit beating up the American people who work for a living. As a politician and a government official, get out on the ground and go see these people, find out what's going on. That's your job, to serve the people. You know, I love the Constitution of America, you know, we the people, of the people, for the people, by the people. I love that. And I believe it works, but I tell you, it sure didn't apply to the tobacco industry. I remember back a time when some of the state officials, one in particular, was going around saying, we're going to put the tobacco industry on their knees. But they did a pretty good job of it. But in the end, it'll come out. So all I'm trying to say is, rather than condemn an industry, let's talk about what the problems are and fix it. But in the tobacco industry, everybody's been told by the lawyers, be quiet, don't talk, don't talk. I'm doing all the talking, I'm the lawyer, y'all be quiet. Well, nobody's talking about the problem, because everybody's been told to be quiet. And the problem in the tobacco industry is that the tobacco is treated with pesticide and insecticides that wind up having pesticide residues, insecticide residues on some of the tobacco. And once it's processed and made to the cigarettes, and you light it up as a smoker, and that residue might be on that pack that you bought of some bad old pesticide chemicals, once you light it up, it re-energizes that pesticide through a process called pyrolysis, I think, or something. That was a process discovered by the tobacco scientists back in the 50s. You see, usually the tobacco scientists are always the one who discovers the problem, because they deal with it every day. But they usually the ones that get the blame too. So it's time for everybody to quit blaming everybody and quit taking all the money out of the smoker's pocket and using it for everything under the sun. It's time to fix the problems in the tobacco, you know. And the way you can do that is grow this stuff organically and ban all imports coming in from overseas that have pesticide residue on it that were banned in 1972 by Congress. Things such as DDT, DDE, aldrin, dieldrin, even two chemicals similar to Agent Orange, like was sprayed in Vietnam during the Vietnam War. They find these two chemicals that are very similar to the two chemicals that made up Agent Orange on some imported tobacco from overseas, from different parts of the world. Well, who are they that find it? The Tobacco Inspections Department in Washington, D.C. But see, if it's so many parts per billion, when a certain range, it's okay for it to come in. But you know, we don't use this stuff in America anymore. It was all banned in 1972 by the United States Congress. Why not ban it from the tobacco around the world where it might be shown in? Not all tobacco from the world, around the world has it, but some it shows up. But see, you got to be able to talk to each other. You got to have a free exchange of ideas, so people can feel free to talk about the problems to solve. But when everybody's scared and they're afraid, they don't talk about it. You hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? When everybody's scared to talk about the problems and afraid, well, if I stand up and talk about it, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to lose my career. Somebody's going to tell me, be quiet. I'm doing the talking. Man, that ain't what made America great. You know, I had a man who devoted his whole life to working for one of the universities here in North Carolina that did a lot of tobacco research, and he summed it up best. This guy was a brilliant engineer, a brilliant professor, had done everything you could do, and he summed it up one best when he said everything in the tobacco industry was done in the public domain. If you were in the know and you were around the industry, you knew all this stuff, but if you weren't in the tobacco industry, oh, the tobacco manipulated nicotine to addict you. It sounds like it could have happened. Man, the government was in the room telling everybody to do it. Look where all the money's going. The money's going to everywhere except where it needs to go. It needs to go back to the tobacco industry, to the farmers, so they can have enough resources to grow this stuff organically, but it goes to fix every problem under the sun. Well, the people that are paying are the 50 million American people who smoke cigarettes and hundreds of millions of people around the world. Why not take their money that they're paying in, not punish them, not kick them to the curb, use it for health care for them, and use it to fix the problems? But it doesn't seem like it's working that way. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's what I think we ought to do. Fix the problems within the tobacco industry and quit condemning it, quit threatening people, quit scaring people. And it's good that the FDA is stepping into it. Let the FDA get into it. That's their job, to regulate things. The tobacco industry, tobacco has been said known to be a drug, so let's regulate it like a drug industry. But let's put the input, the resources in it to produce the tobacco pesticide-free, insecticide-free, any kind of exposure to anything toxic, do away with it. Produce it where it's all organic, and you'll see a lot of the sickness in the tobacco consumption of these consumers be eliminated. It's that simple. Look, I'm glad y'all are here today, and I hope maybe you've learned a little bit.